Stitchy friends. I'm Michelle, and this is Penny's Daughter Shares, my YouTube channel that is mostly about cross stitch. This is episode number 2. I'm really excited to be back again. I want to say thank you to everyone who has reached out to me and given me so many kind words and so much encouragement. I didn't expect such an amount of love and kindness. And so I'm really happy to be here. I attempted to bring Jasper into the video to start, our black cat, if you remember. He was not really having it today, so I'll have to try to get him on video when I have some help, because right now my house is empty, everyone's at school. So anyway, like I said, I wanted to say thank you, and I want to send out one special thank you to Jen at Too Tall Stitchers, and she's just been extra supportive with starting this, and I did not mention her specifically last week, and I felt like I missed out on that, so I wanted to make sure and let her know that I really appreciate her time so far. So the first thing I want to go into is, I don't think that I talked a lot about being Penny's daughter. I sort of mentioned it a little bit, and so I have I think a pretty good story to kind of explain. To give a little background, I lost my mom it's almost 23 years now. No, almost 24 years that she's been gone. So I've lived my entire adult life without her. I had been out of college for about a year when we lost her, and she was very young, and you always hear this, right? Oh, my mom's my best friend, but she really, really was. And most importantly, to relate it to what my channel's about, is that I learned from her sewing, cross stitching, all of that kind of thing. I'm gonna say in general, my crafting abilities are because of her and what she taught me. And the biggest takeaway that I got from her is that you always needed to pay attention to all the details. And she did that always, not just in crafting and sewing, but that's kind of why it's so important to me to incorporate her in this now. So on to my hopefully fairly quick story. I'm not good at quick stories. I'm usually pretty talky, so I'll try to keep it a little shorter. But so her name was Penny, and if you didn't already figure that out. And one of the things that connects me to her is finding pennies. And this didn't really start until about 4 years ago, I think. I don't remember exactly what the date was, but I had never specifically asked her for a sign, and I was going through some really rough stuff that I needed a sign from her that I was handling it right. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. And I'd always, since I lost her, I would always hear songs on the radio, and they would come on at random times, and I knew those songs were played on the radio and were a sign from her. And so I'm in my car and I'm talking to her and asking her to please give me a sign that how I'm handling everything is the way she would want me to. And I was all by myself, and I kept thinking, there's going to be a song that comes on. That's going to be my sign, because that had always been my sign. And later on that day, several hours later, we were out as a family, and I got out of the car, and I literally, the step I would take to get out of the car, I almost stepped on a penny. This was the same day I had been asking her for a sign that what I was doing was right. Or the best decision, maybe, not right or wrong. The penny, I always look at the years on the pennies too. This particular one was a 1965. That year isn't necessarily significant specifically for anything, but it's pretty old, and that's what you find. So I picked it up when I saw it. I was almost stunned, and when I held it in my hand, I could feel heat. I could feel emotion coming through from it, and it literally felt like, I'm sorry, I swear I will try not to do this every single video. I literally could feel her arms wrap around me, and I knew then that I was doing things the way she would be proud of. So anyway, I wanted to show this to you, and I don't want to take it apart, so I apologize for the glare. This is me. This is my mom. That's when I graduated from college, and taking a breath, sorry. That's the last picture I have of her and I together. But it's so fantastic. So anyway, like I said, I was trying to make this not too long of a story. Here's my penny right here. You can't see it because of the glare. That is the penny I found. And how I came about having this, my wonderful son, who is now 20, so was a teenager at the time when I found this penny, he came up with this idea, and he put this together with my husband's help for my Christmas present that year. I found the penny, let's say October-ish. I know I have it written down somewhere when I found it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But this poem is, and I'm sure everyone's seen it. And if you haven't, just look up Angel Penny online and you can find the poem. I won't take all your time by reading it all. One thing that this one does point out is that it talks about my grandpa used to tell me a story. Well, my grandpa didn't tell me a story about finding pennies, but my grandpa did name my mom. And he told us all the story. He named her Penny because he would never be broke. He would always have a penny. So even though my mom didn't ever liked her name, it was pretty significant, if I can share it that way. But so I just want to show you to her one more time. I'm actually older than she was in this picture now, which kind of boggles my mind, but that's why my penny theme. And I hope that gives you enough background, and I hope my story wasn't too long and that I didn't cry too much. I will pull myself together now and talk about really fun things. So I'm just consulting my list. I am going to start with, and I'm not going to call this an FFO. I'm going to call it 6 FFOs, even though it's technically one project. So let me grab it so I can show it to you. Ta-da! So this is, and I'll show each one really quick by itself. It's not the most perfectly arranged dish. I call it a trough. I found this at Hobby Lobby. But I'm working on that. So this is while these are FFOs, 6 of them, I'm gonna call this it's still a bit of a work in progress. I'm working on Halloween and fall decor, and really decor in general, especially as it relates to cross stitching and those projects, because like I have said before, I just really got back into this at the beginning of 2001. So I saved the tag from the trough if you're interested. I have no idea if they're still there. I ordered it online. So let's see. The let me be able to read that. Right here is the item number. Okay, and that is 5852975. All right, so Jack O Lantern Jubilee by Brenda Gervais. So from this book, that's what all my finishes, or my fully finished objects, are from, my FFOs. There's been several of us been doing a stitch along on these. You could follow along on Instagram if you'd like. It's JOL Jubilee SAL. So JOL Jubilee Sale. And not only are these 6 fully finished objects, but they also count as part of my finishes for the week. So let's see. I'm going to start with the smallest one first, because I think she's my favorite because she's so small. All right, so this is Broom Hilda, and I just finished her. Let me grab my board. I just finished her. Does that, yeah. I stitched her in one day. She was very fast, and I just think she's so darn cute. So, and then here is the back. I made these little tags with my initials in the year for each one of these, and it took me a really long time. So I probably won't always do that, but once I did one, then I didn't want to stop. So the backing fabric is Tim Holtz. He designed it, and it's part of, oh, the name is escaping me. I will list it down below. It's Eclectic something, and like I said, I'm drawing a blank. I don't know why, but probably because I'm on a video, right? So yeah, so this is the back, and I just stuffed these little cute things with polyfill. So that's Broom Hilda. So I stitched her and fully finished her since I talked to you last. This one also stitched and finished fully since I talked to you last. This one is obviously Trick or Treat. Same thing. Oh, I didn't say, all the cross stitching, I used the called for colors, and I stitched all 6 of these on 40 count Brenda's Brew, which is also called for in the booklet. And as you can see, backing, same thing. And as I'm showing these to you, I'm realizing I missed one final step in the fully finished process. I used Vonna Pfeiffer's tutorials. I've watched several of them. Yesterday I watched her, I think it's called Stuffed Ornament tutorial specifically, but she also has a pillow finish tutorial. Talks about how to sew them together and how to stuff and all the details that you could use. And I'm really happy with how these turned out. But her last step that she suggests is placing them up face down and a hot steamy iron to kind of flatten them out. And I think I could do that. I think that would help just a little bit. It would just give it, like I said, the details. That's what matters sometimes. So yeah, the other thing too, because I had someone ask me about tutorials. The other thing, I don't think that Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch has a specific tutorial for pillow finishing, but she does have a bag tutorial, a project bag tutorial, actually a couple of them. And she's also talked a lot in general about her sewing things together and her helpful hints, that strategy she uses to make things turn out certain ways. And so I've used a lot of her suggestions, and I wish that I could tell you specifically what they are, but it's just from watching her and watching her I'll call them mini tutorials that she has on her Flosstube, you know, within her videos, her regular videos, excuse me, that was really helpful to me. So, all right, let's get back to the finishes. Okay, so this one is Boo Cats, and same thing, called for floss and called for fabric, and same backing, same cute little tag. I mean, I'm really happy with how these tags turned out. It's just, they were so much work and took me way longer than I expected. This one is Witch's Brew. I think that's the name of it in the book. Okay. The other thing too is I'm thinking about putting some trim around the outside edges. I don't have anything in my collection that was just what I wanted, and so I can go back and add that later if I decide I want to. I also decided, since this was a big finish for me, big full finishes, right? Then I'm also okay with how they are just sort of plain, because I'll put them in a dish together and get a few more cutie additions for the bowl, and so I think it'll be fine. Excuse me just a second. Sorry about that. This one is Halloween Delivery, I think. I'm sorry if I don't get the names exactly right. I don't have the book open, but yeah. And then the back, Tim Holtz fabric. Eclectic, I am not going to remember it as hard as I try. But yeah, and my little tag. And then number 6, Ghosts and Goblins. I know I have the name right on that one. Since it tells it to me, right? And this one, because of the shape and size of it, was the hardest to stuff and get it nicely stuffed. So there's the back. And then can I just brag a little for just a minute? Look at, you cannot even see my stitching or my sewing to sew this closed. I mean, if you look really hard and concentrate, you can tell where I hand stitched it, but you can't see my stitches. I'm really proud of that. So yeah, those are my full finishes. I can't even hold them all. I could try. But the biggest reason that I got these done is because I started my Flosstube and I had it in my head once I cross-stitched, because I think I had 4 done last week, the stitching, and I pulled this one out, number 5, and started working on it. And when I got it done pretty fast, I then said, okay, I can get this one done in a day. And then I was like, I've got to have these finished for my video. So thank you for helping me be motivated to get some finishes done. I'm hoping that that will continue. Okay, so then I wanted to show you, I have one other finish that I got done this week. And this was so much fun to stitch. And you guys, I've heard from several people, they wish that it would come back into stock. I hope it does come back into stock because it's such a fun stitch and I am so happy with it. So let's see if I can get it. There we go. Try to hold it straight. Excuse me. So this is I Love Fall Most of All by Brenda Gervais, and it's an exclusive on her site. I used all the called for floss colors. I stitched it on 40 count Heritage from Picture This Plus. And I think that's coming through pretty true to color. This Heritage is pretty green. I love how this turned out. I just think it's so pretty. The combination of the colors and the fabric that I ended up choosing. I haven't decided on a full finish yet. But I'm hoping to get it done in the next week because I really want to set this out and look at it a lot. But yeah, so there's a finish. That's my only finish. Because full finishing takes a long time, for me at least. And I know I'm not especially practiced with it yet, and I'm still learning, and I pay attention to every detail, and I know there's more of you like me out there that are perfectionists, and I'm raising 3 children who are perfectionists, and so I'm trying desperately to convince them that that's not how you should live. And so I work hard for myself too to kind of battle that. So that I'm showing you Jack O Lantern Jubilee fully finished, and I don't have trim on it yet, but I think I might add it later, is really stepping out of my box because I am like, every detail, everything has to be just so. And I'm trying to let some of that go because otherwise I'll never get anything done. And it also steals some of the fun out of doing this. And this is supposed to be fun, or at least for me it is. And so I want to keep it that way. And so anyway, so I was so busy with that, and it took a lot more time than I expected. The other thing I did, so I really only have one whip to show you this week that I got any progress on, and I barely got any progress on it. So this is all the trimmings stitch along with fat quarter shot. There we go. I am not done with week 3 yet. There's 2 red bows that go in there and some little detail there. I will probably work on this and finish it today for the 3rd week, just because I enjoy keeping up with a stitch along like that that's really scheduled and such. So I do want to finish it for the week, and then I feel like I can go and do other things. I am stitching this, I'm using the called for Weeks Dye Works. I have the thread pack from the Fat Quarter Shop, and then I chose 32 count Lucky Penny from Witchelt. No, I'm not, is it Lucky Penny or Copper Penny? Ooh. Oh, Okay, I need to start having a specific list of things written down so that I make sure I can tell you for sure. I feel like the color of the fabric is blowing out a little bit. I explained last time it's kind of a green and it's like a rusty brown modeling on it. I really like it and I think this is really turning out cute on it. So yeah, that's my only whip because everything else I finished that I happened to be working on this week, right? But I say finished and laugh like it was fast. It wasn't fast. So yeah, so those are the really good stuff so far. I am going to pause here to reset and gather my, I want to show you items I got for my collection, and I got some really cool fabrics, and also kind of show you some upcoming projects that I don't know if I'll start them all this week, but I would like to try. So I'll be back in just a moment. All right, so now I wanted to talk to you about items that I've added to my collection this week, or that I received for my collection, I should say. And also within that will be the projects I'm hoping to pull out and start this week, or at least some of them. They're kitted up almost, and I'm not sure how many I'll get to, but we'll see. So the first thing I want to show you are, let's see, am I showing that good? I'll show you one at a time. So Color and Cotton, I'm doing their monthly thread club. This collection here is the Primitive and Neutral. It says right on the card if I look at it. So aren't these colors beautiful? Oh my goodness. Okay. And then I'm also doing the All Colors Club. So I get 10 skeins a month. And again, look at these colors. Okay, so I've been getting these for a few months. I have not used any of them yet, but I want to. So I've been working on projects that I already had kind of kitted up and designated flosses and stuff. So as I'm starting to pull things together, these are so beautiful. Like I wanna find a project to use them for. So, but I also don't want to separate them because I feel like they all go together and they look so pretty together, right? So yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. The other thing too is I'm on the wait list to get into the fabric club because I really want to try some Color and Cotton fabric. I hear how wonderful it is. And the colors look amazing. So I want to get that into my collection also. Okay, so that was Color and Cotton. Then I got, I received all of my sort of pre-order items from Expo much earlier this week. And then I had also ordered a little bit of extra stuff too. So this first fabric is, I want to tell you the right thing, so let me see, it's 40 count fiber on a whim buttermilk. So this was not an Expo release, but I've not had it and the color's not showing very good. It's very, let's see, maybe if I flip it around, sort of, kinda. It's not showing very good. It's, I'm gonna say it has a yellowish undertone to it. And this modeling is green and I just love it. I don't know if I've told everyone that. I should share that. Green is my favorite color. Like I love neutrals and mixing neutrals, especially in my home decor. That's what I really, really love for that, but my favorite color is green, and any shade of green really. So that's why I tend to get excited over green fabrics, even though I can't stitch everything on green, right? Now this was an Expo release, so this is Fiber on a Whim 40 count brown sugar. And I think brown sugar is a good name for this. I think it looks a lot like brown sugar. That coloring looks like it may be showing up pretty good. It does have the green modeling in it again, which I didn't know or expect when I ordered it, but it was a pleasant surprise. So yeah, it's very beautiful. I don't know, maybe if I hold both of these up, you can kind of see, you can kind of get a better feel for kind of the colors that. So those I got from Christine at Hollis Hands Create on Etsy. She also helped me put together pretty much all of my pre-order stuff from Expo. So then I got a little more fabric that I ordered from Kitten Stitcher, and I thought I needed this first fabric for a project I'll show you in a minute, but it's not what the called for is. So I'm not sure what I read or where I read it and why it didn't come up right, but that's okay. I've been looking at this fabric for a really long time anyway, and I wanted to buy it. So it's awesome to have in my collection, and I may end up using it for one of those projects. So this one is it XJU Designs or XJU Designs? 40 count grandpa's sleeve. And I'm sure many of you are probably familiar with it. So I'm really excited to try it and use it. I think Halloween and fall would be really great for that. Okay, this was an Expo release, 40 count Fiber on a Whim brick. And I was excited to get this. And when I got it, it was even better in person. I mean, I don't know, if you're on the fence about this one and you need to get some, you need to get it. I'm not kidding. I love it so much. Now I just need to find the right project for it. A lot of my fall stuff already has a lot of orange on it, so I don't know if it'll work. But yeah, it's so beautiful. And it's probably not coming across on the camera, but it's really, really lovely. And then I got XJU Design again, 40 count. This is Mocha Beige. So it has a little modeling, but much less than the other ones that I've showed you so far. I think that's a really nice neutral, and I can see a lot of things getting stitched on that. And then the final one I got was XJU Design 40 count Brown Smoke. And another one that's just, in the feel of it, is so yummy. Don't we all use those words? Yummy and delicious and all of that. But yeah, it's really pretty. I need to stitch on it. It's just the feel of it and everything. It's so fantastic. So I have not stitched on XJU Design yet at all, any color. And these are my first ones to purchase. So I'm excited to try them and see how they are to stitch, but they feel really good already. Okay, and then these are a couple charts that I haven't gotten kitted up yet, but they're Expo releases. So this is Hello from Liz Mathews, 5th Day of Christmas. And I like her trees a lot. I think they're very cute. There is something in particular about the sampler on this one. I don't know, it just gives me a feeling I can't explain. I just love it. So I will be stitching this soon. I'm just still focused on fall and Halloween right now. But this will be one of my Christmas and winter stitches for certain. And then the other one I got, and I haven't kitted it up yet, and I love it. So it's Kathy Barracks Autumn Pin Drum. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. I'm sure a lot of you have collected it too. I love this so much. So I'm just not sure if it's gonna fit into my calendar this year. Just because I have so many going, but we'll see. We'll see. So, so the other thing I did since I talked to you last was I participated in Friend Stitch last Saturday. Oh, and I did this last time I videoed. Today is Friday, September 24th. So Saturday, September 18th was Friend Stitch. I think I showed you that I had stitched this up, our homework, ahead of time. We could do the finishing in class, but I was paying too much attention to this, everyone talking to us and teaching us things, and I already explained to you I'm really slow with fully finishing, so I chose to spend my time doing that, and then I got involved in other projects. I was really trying to get this done for this video, but so we got a kit to put it together and fully finish it, and that is on my to-do list for sure this week. I want to get that done and be able to set it out. Just as a reminder, I used called for floss colors on the stitching. I used that 32 count Witchelt Lucky Penny or Copper Penny. Again, I'm sorry that I don't remember the correct name for it. If you need to know, comment below or send me a message on Instagram. I'm Penny's Daughter Shares on Instagram also. So that's on my to-do list this week for sure. I want to get that done. Then also with Friend Stitch, I'm sure a lot of you have seen everything, so I won't take long with that. But here's the Friend Stitch owl, and I think this is 18 count linen in here, and it came with why is the name escaping me? I don't know. Pearl cotton. I remembered. Wow, now if I could just remember the name of the Tim Holtz fabric, we'd be all set. Like I said, I'll list that below. So pearl cotton, 18 count linen, and I'm a little nervous about how stiff this linen is and whether or not I'll like stitching on it, but I'm gonna try it because this isn't that big, and I think it would be fun to try something a little different, and I really like how they finished it in a little stand-up thing. So that's one of the maybes for getting started on this week. And then we got Let Joy In. This is so awesome. I love it so much. And I ordered the extra fabric to add to my kit. So it's 32 count vintage country mocha. And that's my plan right now, is I'll stitch 2 over 2 and use that just because I think it's beautiful. And all the called for floss we were given to make it. So I'll probably stick with that. And I have so many other projects, but I'd really, really, really like to get back to, or get started on that at least. Again, we'll see. The next one, I think I showed last week, but this is October's Party from Little House Needleworks. I have not chosen my fabric yet. And to be honest, I haven't even looked at it enough yet to decide if I want to do 40 count or if I want to have a little bit larger finished product. So I have a lot of 40 counts to choose from, so it'll probably end up being 40 count. Here are the called for floss colors. Let me get my board. Oh my goodness, I have a huge mess now. I was semi-organized, now I have a huge mess. Okay, so these are all classic color works and they're so lovely. And I'm not very good at this part, am I? Okay, there you go. You can see them better. So yeah, definitely one of those fabrics I showed you will look beautiful with these colors. Actually, several of them would probably look beautiful. So I just need to decide. I'm stitching that with my friend Michelle, and we've talked about hopefully starting it this weekend, and maybe even do a call together to get it started. And I'm pretty excited about that. I think that would be really fun. The next one I got this week, and this is not, so October's Party was an Expo release, if you weren't familiar with that. This next thing I'm going to show you, I've kind of been looking at it and was a little on the fence. And one of the things I liked about it was the color of the fabric, and everyone's been talking about the fabric now. The dye is more gray than purple, and one of the things that attracted me to it was the purple fabric. It's just different for me, and so I really love it. So this is Hilda Boo in Sunflowers 2 by Brenda Gervais. Excuse me. And let's see, the called for fabric is 18th Century Blackbird by R&R Reproductions. And like I said, I've read a lot of things and heard a lot of things that now it's much more gray than purple when this came out. You know, it was more purple when this came out. So I was on Instagram, and we all know that's not a very good place if you're trying to control yourself for buying things, right? And Southern Stitchers Co. I saw her share on Instagram that she had stitched this up and that she had dyed her own fabric. So I messaged her and asked if she would kit this up for me with this fabric, if she had some available, and she did. And she wanted to kit it up for me, but it's been so popular in her shop that all the colors were sold out, the called for colors, except this one. But the good thing is I have all the called for colors. This was the only one I was missing. So Classic Colorworks Blooming Crocus. This is getting started this week. I mean, come on. I love it so much. And like I said, it's just so different for me. So that was really fun to kind of add that to the collection this week. And then, let's see. I think I showed you this last time, Autumn Alphabet from Willow Hill Samplings. I do want to get started, and now that I got all those fabrics in, one of them will be what I'll use here. This calls for Murky, which I would love to use from Picture This Plus, but I know I have a piece of it, but I don't think it's big enough, and it is also not 40 count, it's only 28 count. This calls for 40, and I think I want it to be this like smaller and petite. So here's the colors I didn't have in my collection that it calls for. You can see those pretty good. There you go. It also calls for Gentle Arts Moss, and I couldn't find that anywhere. So what I have in my collection is Classic Colorworks Mossy, and I think that's gonna work as a substitution. I need to double check and lay everything out. If that one doesn't work, I'll figure out something else, since I couldn't find moss. And I'm not even sure exactly how much it uses moss, so that'll be even easier to substitute if it's not used a lot, right? And then I got 2 Pumpkins Bright from Hello from Liz Mathews. This was an Expo release, so I got that this week. And got all the called for flosses. Really, I'm not good at this part. And that's probably because I don't keep my floss like this, like I would say all of you normal people do. I'm so in the habit of bobbins with my floss. I take all this off and I wrap it on the card like this. And that's how I keep my floss organized. And if anyone's screaming at me right now because they think that's a bad idea, I'm sorry. But that's what works for me. It feels really organized for me, and I can keep, like when I have an extra piece that I didn't use it all up, I can just wrap it back on there easily. So anyway, this is 2 Pumpkins Bright. These are the colors. All the called for. Let's see, it also calls for DMC 310. I have that. I just don't have it pulled out here. But I think I was able to find all the called for. And I really want to start that. I'm really excited about that one. I love it. And then I know I talked about Teresa Kogut last time. So Hello from Liz Mathews. I love her stuff. But I don't think that I had actually started stitching anything designed by her. And now I have 2 charts that I'm in love with, absolutely, that I need to start. And she has several others that I want to get and add to my collection. But I keep seeing other things and getting pulled to other directions. Okay, so back to Teresa Kogut. So here's Hazel's Halloween Friends. Can you see that? I don't know if it's... and there's several DMC colors it calls for. I have those. I think I explained last time. I have at least all the solid DMC colors. I have them all. Just because I can pull them out if I want, and I can use them to sort of substitute colors and work with. And then if a project is going to use a lot of a DMC color, I'll usually buy another one so that I can kind of keep my collection all intact and full. So here's the called for fancy flosses, which are really, really fun. I really, really, really want to start this. So I got to find fabric and figure it out. But what is that? Like 5 or 6 things I would start in the next week? Let's be honest, I don't think I can do that. I could if I treated it like mania, where I started something new every single day. But I have a feeling once I get started on some of these, I'm going to want to spend more than one day stitching on them because they're going to be fun. So we'll see where I get. Part of showing you those were my collections that I received this week. So I'm just not going to be able to start everything. If I could figure out how to use both hands at once and be working on 2 projects at once simultaneously, then maybe I could get things done. But I also want to try to do some more FFO projects. So let's see what comes this week. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm just going to have fun. That's the goal, right? So I just wanted to say thank you again for all your love and support and kindness from my first video. And I want to say thank you for spending your time with me again this time. And if you liked it, please like and subscribe below. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, like I said, that's Penny's Daughter Shares, just like the name here on my Flosstube. I hope everyone has a really great week ahead and has lots of fun stitching. Have a great week.